I'm Maurice Patton. Welcome into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Jones & Lang Sporting Goods and Columbia Academy. We'll be bringing you insight on our area gridiron programs from B to Z as we go across Giles, Lawrence, Maury, and South Williamson counties, starting with a visit to Battle Creek, closing with a stop at Zion Christian, and hitting coaches from all 11 teams in between to get you ready for this weekend's season openers and the 2025 campaign. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Hey, welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Jones & Lang Sporting Goods and Columbia Academy. I'm Maurice Patton. This is Battle Creek's second-year coach, Justin Burham. Now, we say second year, but this will be their first year of varsity play, played as a junior varsity team last year in the school's first year. Coach, first of all, thanks for taking some time with me.
Yes, sir, of course.
Just obviously, y'all didn't get the Friday night experience last year. And when we talked last year about that, one of your things was trying to make Monday night, Friday night.
Yes, sir.
You know, how well do you feel like these guys are ready for Friday night lights this time around?
Man, Friday night lights is one of those things, no matter how much you prepare for it, you can't prepare for it until it gets here, you know. Now, these kids, they showed up, man. I probably guarantee if I go pull our attendance record from the summer, we probably got about 90% attendance. You know what I mean? The core guys that was here last summer were here this summer, plus a few additions. But, I mean, they're excited, and that's all I can say. You know what I mean? They want to come play. We're ready to get out there and see what it's like to take a bunch of 9th, 10th, and 11th graders out there, I guess some grown men, and just see what we can do, man. That environment is one you can't duplicate. Now, we did have some really, really good atmospheres on Monday. If you was fortunate enough to come out, you kind of see it. It was fun. It wasn't the typical JV situation. So I'm excited to see what Friday actually brings.
And I'd imagine you're about as much as excited to see the stands as you are to see the field. As far as that goes.
Without a question. I mean, I got an amazing community here. They supported these boys from day one, and they continue to show up and show out. I couldn't ask for a better group of people to back these kids. So,
that said, what do you feel like on the field you got out of last year?
Man, I think we got out of it really what football is. You know, it's not one of those things that you can take lightly. You got to show up, you got to work. Everybody probably been in the JV program, you know, it was going to be easy. And we did some really good things, but now they don't understand is what happened last year doesn't matter at all about this year. You know, we had a little bit of success, and now people are looking like what you did last year is a fluke. So you got to come out and prove that you can do it on the big boy level. I tell the boys all the time what happened on JV. People don't care about JV. They only remember what you do on this Friday night fight coming up this year. So for us to get out there and work and just show that we belong is what we're trying to do.
Now, will y'all play a JV schedule this year?
Yes, sir. We'll have 7 JV games and 10 varsity.
Okay. But at the same time, obviously, you're a growing program, so a lot of those guys are going to be playing probably on Fridays and Mondays, I guess.
Well, I would want to do it, to be honest. Man, we have almost 80 kids on paper, 78, 79, and that doesn't include the additions we got this last couple of days. So we're probably pushing 80 kids now, over 80 kids on paper. So we're going to have enough to where we can have a legit varsity, and then some of those 9th and 10th graders are going to be our JV. So we're looking to, we can have just as many on JV as we did last year playing. So we're going to play both. I think it's important to get those young guys reps. I see how important it did for us and did wonders for us last year. So it's going to do great amount of things for you guys that's going to play it this year.
As you've gone through this preseason, who are some guys that are starting to emerge for you as some guys that you can count on when y'all line up and go on the 22nd?
Man, it's the usual crew that's been here from day one. Aiden Barber, he's our heart and soul. That kid gets it done by any means necessary. He shows up. Number 5, Chris Lemmy, he's here. Number 2, Jackson Wells. 73, Giovanni Rosa. 66, Xander Hamilton has turned a huge corner in the way he works. Trace Moore has been working his butt off. So we got a really good, solid foundation. I'm really intrigued to see one of our, he's not a newcomer per se, but he didn't get to play during the season last year, but he was on the team. Jackson Voorhees. I think he's a different dynamic than what we had at running back last year, and he does some really good things. He played in the scrimmages, but he didn't get to make it into the season. So to have him back out here and ready to roll, I think that's going to be good. Our skill group is really phenomenal for what we want to get done with. So Stanley Williams Jr. had a terrific offseason. We're going to see if he can put it together when we get the pads on and get out of 7-on-7 mode.
Everything changes when you put the pads on, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. And them big boys get involved, and that's what all that matters. You can have the best skill in the world, but if them big boys can't get it done, it don't matter what type of skill you got.
You know, obviously you've got your plate full getting this team to varsity level, but as you look at Region 5-4A, what are your thoughts as you look across the region?
Well, you know, of course, you got your heavy hitter in Marshall County, man. They're always a perennial powerhouse, and regardless of classification they're in, they always make a run. If they're not quarterfinals or busts every year, they're just not Marshall County. So obviously we look at them to probably take control of this district, or this region rather.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Creekwood. I don't know much about them except for Coach Palmer used to be their head coach before he came to Shelbyville, and he speaks highly of that program and what they do. And then you got the team across the highway and Coach Taylor, his first year. So they're going to do tremendous things. And then you got Montgomery Central. So what has been the newcomers, you know, we're just trying to get in, hold our own, and compete. So
the team across the highway.
Yes, sir.
Is that that's who they are?
That's who they are to us. Some people may not feel that way. But that's who they are.
You know, I asked you back earlier in the summer if y'all had that date circled, and you said we got them all circled.
We do.
Starts the 22nd.
Yes, sir.
When Mount Pleasant comes up here, your first varsity game, not a region game, but it's your first game. And when you talk about that environment and, you know, what these guys are going to bring to the table, I would imagine that everything's going to be brimming right there.
Well, when you look back just over the history of Maury County the last few years, somebody told me that Mount Pleasant's the gold standard in Maury County from what they've done with their football program and what they achieved. So to have who some people think are the best team in the county the last few years that come into our place, our first year of varsity in our very first game, it's going to be a tough task. Coach Hartsfield get them boys playing, man. He has a way of making his boys play, and he has a really good group of kids. So for them to be in a smaller classification, that's really don't matter. Because, I mean, for us, we have no history of any classification. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a county rivalry. I plan on making sure we're prepared and we do our best to let our chips fall where they may.
First varsity game. Not just that game, but this 2025 season, you know, what do you want to accomplish with this team this year?
Man, growth. No matter how we start, we want to be better than when we finish it, you know. Of course, we got goals. There's certain monkeys you want to get off your back and different things. But at the end of the day, if we have growth and we don't do the same thing over and over, I'll be happy. You know, it's hard to start a new program from scratch especially not having senior leaders. It's crazy because you got kids that think they're top dogs and they've never seen a top dog, but they're the oldest class, they're the upperclassmen, so that they think it's how it's supposed to be done, and you got to show them like, hey, this is how it's done, you know. So if we grow and we compete and we don't back down, man, that's gonna be one hell of a season for us, and that's what I want to see. And then after all that is said and done, we'll count up our wins and losses and see where we fall.
Very good. Battle Creek second-year coach Justin Burham getting ready to lead the Grizzlies into varsity action this fall. Again, they get started August 22nd right here against Mount Pleasant. Coach, I appreciate you taking some time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. We are here on the campus of Columbia Academy with 2024 Division IIA state finalist coach Seth Anderson. Now, that was 2024. It was Division IIA, and all of that has changed because the Bulldogs are bumping up in classification to D2AA this time around, coming off of that 10-4 finish last year, 4-1 in middle region play. But Seth, first of all, thanks for taking some time.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Kind of a season of transition for you guys in a number of different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, obviously the first point of that is moving classifications, moving up to 2A and having a different region, and knowing we're going into one of the most competitive regions in Middle Tennessee with several quality teams. So excited about that challenge. But the other aspect is we graduated a pretty large senior class last year. 11 seniors graduated, and so we got a lot of new faces. And so excited to see how these guys develop over the course of the season.
Your fourth year at the helm here, and it felt like things were kind of building toward last year, basically.
Sure.
Now again, going to D2AA, losing not just the numbers, but the talent in those numbers that you lost last year. How do you build it back up, maybe?
Yeah, you know, high school sports especially is all cyclical. You're going to have cycles of large classes and smaller classes, and you know, right now it's a time of opportunity, and we got opportunity for guys who haven't got a lot of playing time in the past to step up and develop and see what they got. We got some guys returning in key spots, and they're going to kind of be counting on to kind of lead the way, and so excited to see these new faces, you know, step in and fill big roles.
You know, we were talking before we got started here. Not only are you, were you going to have some opportunities, but now you have some additional opportunities that you weren't expecting to have.
Sure. You know, we've had a couple guys, you know, go down here in preseason play, and so that's opened doors for other guys to step in and take advantage of their chance to get on the field.
That said, who are some guys that you feel like you're going to be leaning on over the course of the season?
Absolutely. You know, you kind of look to the guys who have experience already. And for football, it starts up front on the offensive, defensive lines. Returning senior Boone Pollard, you know, he's returning all-region guard from last year. Jackson Beasley, returning center, all-region as well. So we're looking at those two guys to anchor the offensive line. You know, defensively, it starts in the middle. Junior middle linebacker Nixon Love, all-state last year. He had 111 tackles on the season, and then all-state corner in the back end, Jackson Usherwood. Really counting on him to get us in the right spot and you know, man up and lock down with other teams' top threats.
One of those guys that you lost here recently was really a key performer for you last year. Kind of took the top off some defenses. Gave you a speed element, wide airs, type talent that you don't necessarily replace.
Wyatt's a special kid. You know, on the field, his talent is noticeable, but the main thing with Wyatt is he is one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. It doesn't matter what he's playing, whether it's football, baseball, you know, hopscotch. It doesn't matter. The kid wants to win, and he's going to do everything he can to find a way to win. And he's got that drive and you know, mentality that every coach dreams of. And what's really special is since he's been out, he's really helped these younger guys that are going to step into his spot to try to bring him along. It's I don't want to say fun, but it's really neat to watch his mentality shift from player to coach while he can't participate.
Those seniors that you lost last year, kind of referred to three of them, or I did anyway, as kind of the triplets going back to the Cowboys: Aikman, Smith, Irvin, you know, Neves, Baldwin, Brownlee.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make up for that kind of production?
Yeah, you know, with a running back like Monte, you know he was probably going to carry it 20, 25 times a game. You knew Harrison was going to touch the ball 10 to 15 times a game, and just counting on Steven to distribute it to him. And man, he did a great job. We might not have that bulk production from one player. It's going to be spread out through, 5 or 6 guys. And we're going to be counting on, 3 different running backs right now, and Gabriel Carcall, Aiden Honeycutt, and Deontay Webster to really split that load. And hopefully they can stay fresh in the run game by not having to carry it 20, 25 times, but, splitting up, 7, 8 carries apiece over the course of a game will allow them to stay fresh. They all add a different element running-wise as well. And then on the outside, you bring back Jackson Usherwood, who All-State corner. Now he's really going to be counted on the offensive side as a slot receiver. A lot of experience. He's been running it for 3 years now. And then on the outside, we got some big athletic guys, and the main message thing, of course, Solomon Farr, and newcomer Kamani McGowan to once again spread the ball around too. And while you might not see it in bulk by 1 or 2 players, it's going to be spread out for about 5 or 6 guys.
Who's going to be slinging it for you this time?
Right now, senior Jacob Helms, quarterback. The ultimate field general. The kid doesn't get rattled. He's got a great football IQ. He's very poised in the pocket, poised under pressure, and he can make all the throws that we need him to make. So really excited for him to get his shot as a senior at quarterback.
You talked about that region that you're going into. How do you see that shaping up when you look at the Davidsons and the JP2s and some of the folks that you're going to be seeing?
Yeah, it's going to be fun because we haven't seen some of these schools in real game action before. We've played several of them in the past in non-region competition. We played FRA and Davidson, and obviously Grace is coming with us. But, the Good Pastures and Popes and BGAs, we haven't seen them in a real game. So excited for new faces. We know every Friday night's going to be tough. There are going to be no gimmies in this region. You've got to bring your A game, top to bottom. It's a very solid region. So really excited to get out there and compete with those guys.
And very solid region, but you don't do yourself any favors with your non-region schedule either. Coming right here in the opener on August 22nd, you've got Fayetteville coming in.
Yes, sir. Fayetteville, not too far departed from a state championship, and so they got a great program down there under new coach, Coach Quick. I know he's doing a great job, and those guys are playing really hard for him, and so excited to kick it off against them and really see where we're at.
I'm Maurice Patton.
Tredarius Goff.
That's Tredarius Goff, 3rd year Columbia Central coach and former Lion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Former Lion.
Talk about what's it mean to be coaching on the same practice field in the same stadium that you played in?
Man, it's a blessing. I couldn't have asked for nothing better. Being here, being able to come back to the place that made me who I was and made a name for myself across the state in football. I look at this field and I got 1,000 memories of when I played, man. So I'm just honored and blessed to be in this position to give back to the kids in my community, and just push them to be great at what they want to do.
6-5 in your second year, 3-3 in Region 5-5A, which changes this year. We'll get to that in a second. But what were some of the good things from last year? What are the things from last year that you want to be better at this time around?
Last year, man, some of the good things was defensively, man. As I told them, we held teams throughout the regular season to an average of 10.2 points a game. So our defense was rock solid, man. It was just our offense. We couldn't get our footing offensively. And throughout this offseason into fall camp, I think that that's changed as far as us being able to get our feet in offensively, move the ball, score points, and finish drives. Throughout the 3 scrimmages we've had, from spring scrimmage against Shelby to the first fall scrimmage against Shelby, and then to last week, this past Friday against White House, we consecutively, got first downs, finished drives, scored points, and been able to deliver, man. So I'm excited about that, adding that aspect to this game, plus continuing to play solid defense.
What's changed for you offensively that's allowed you to this point to have little bit more success?
Well, offensively, we brought in another coach, offensive-minded coach with Michael Harrison coming in. Him and Coach Hall working together as OC and co-OC, man, and him working with the quarterbacks and just developing a new scheme and ways to get our guys the ball in space, you know. Because this year, throughout my time here, man, we're deeper than we ever been, you know, and I'm excited to see it. And you know, we got three solid running backs. We 2 deep at the wide receiver position, and you know, we got a good quarterback coming back that got some experience last year that's going to be very beneficial and pay off for us this year.
Talk about that quarterback.
Daniel Booker, man, Daniel Booker. He's a I give him credit because he's a total different kid than when he first got here from Mount Pleasant. You know, he came in, he was unsure about what he wanted to do just based off him not being eligible that freshman year, and then coming into that sophomore year, he worked hard, he grinded, he got bigger, he got faster, he got stronger, and then coming into this year, he's been able to develop more of a quarterback mind as far as protecting the ball, decision making, reads as far as what the defense is giving him, 1 high, 2 high. Do the outside linebacker jump the flat, and is the curl going to be open behind him, you know? So he's developing that aspect, and it's a good thing to see, man, because he's a great kid. He wants to go on and play college football, and everything he's doing right now aligns with some of the dreams that he has.
That's nice because a lot of guys have dreams, but what they're doing doesn't align with it. I mean, that's just a great point that you made, I think. Daniel was kind of an athlete playing quarterback. It sounds like he's now more of a quarterback.
Well, he's still an athlete playing quarterback, but he's added that too. As you know, I ain't gonna say that we're gonna sit there back there and ask him to throw the ball down the field 40 times a game or anything like that. He's still gonna run the ball, you know, and like I said, he just added that aspect to the game of, all right, if this guy jumps here, I know that this is going to be open. And, you know, that's what he didn't have in the past. And it's just, you know, getting on that whiteboard with him, drawing up plays and letting him answer questions and be wrong and correcting them and growing from there, you know, challenging them.
You talk about the perimeter, and it feels like Central always has guys on the outside. You've just not always necessarily been able to take advantage of that, particularly here of late. Who are some of those guys that are going to be on the other end for Daniel?
Oh, man, Richard Powers, Cam Bridges, Jamari Brown, Dallas King, RJ White. Let me see who else. There's one more in there. Elliott Stanford, he'll give us some good minutes later on, but you know, those guys right there, man, those guys are going to be solid for us all year, and they've been solid for us all summer, you know, and then at running back, he got Zane Nash, Hassan Ball, and Jamari Hall in the backfield. You know, and Hassan Ball, one of them kids you can move around if you need to put him in the slot or anything like that. But he got weapons around him now, man. And you know, where in the past we might have had a Caden McCoy and a Jordan Davis, but to spell off of that, it was kind of light, you know. And now we got guys that we can go 2 deep and we can go 3 deep at the running back position and not skip a beat, in my opinion.
Obviously, defense is where you want to hang your hat.
Yeah.
What is that side of the ball looking like?
So, you know, this summer, man, we've done a lot as far as every scrimmage we've been in, man. We played about 24 to 25 kids. And so we kind of, starting today, we kind of settled in on who's going to be in that mix. And on a defensive side of the ball, man, you got Dallas King, Zane Nash, Jamari Hall, Jamari Brown, Hassan Ball. You got Cam Bridges. You got big dudes, Xavier Murphy, Isaiah Bishop, Tashawn Dotson, who will be a freshman coming in this year. So we got the pieces, man. It's about us playing together as a unit and everybody doing their jobs and holding up. And that unit hadn't played together as a whole all summer. Them two have been spread out between 2 different groups. And so this is going to be exciting to see that group play together, all 11 of those guys.
Jamari Hall kind of announced his presence with authority last year against Franklin County, 3 interceptions. You know, you're not going to get 3 interceptions out of him every game.
No, you're not going to get 3 of them out of him every game, man. That was just a heck of a special night, man. So, but Jamari Hall, what he brings to us, man, he's a physical guy. He's a big guy who can run, and he's physical. He make tackles. He get his hands on ball, and he tries to do things right. You know, those guys. Jamari's a sophomore, so he's gonna have. It's gonna be trial and error with him as he continue to grow. You know, and you got to expect that as a young guy coming in and asking him to be a dominant force on that defense. You know, but I'm excited to see him play. He's worked hard. Maury probably put on about 15 pounds this offseason. Got stronger. You guys, again, it's been 5A. You've been on the
west side of the bracket. This year, this region is 4-4A. Instead of playing into Nashville in the postseason, you're going to play toward Chattanooga. What do you feel like that means for y'all?
You know, I think for us, it means, man, just getting an opportunity to play somebody who's more like us, in my opinion. You know, you go to the Williamson counties, you know, they got access to this, and that. And, you know, it's more about, it's for me, that's what I see it as, you know, football is football at the end of the day. Either you're good or you're not, but it's the access to certain stuff that allows you to be better. And I think playing that side of it, we'll have more teams that's like us, not as far as, you know, and Williamson County, them kids probably meeting with trainers out there every practice and got chefs and this and that. You know, it's a different money bracket is what I'm getting to. You know, so and us playing them, it just takes me back to our days when we kind of played that same type of matchup when we got to the playoffs.
Okay. As you look around this region, and I guess it's a 5-team region, so only one team will miss the playoffs. So you certainly don't want to be that.
No, you don't want to be that team.
But I mean, how do you feel like this region shakes up?
Man, it's a tough region, man. You know, Tullahoma's they're going to be good. Lincoln County going to be physical. Lawrence County got a new coach, and they got some things going. Franklin County, you never know what they're going to have, man. You know, I don't count coach out down there at Franklin County, man. They're gonna eventually get it right and get the rolling, man. So, you know, you never know where it's going to be. You got to come to play every Friday when you get in the region play for sure, because anything can happen.
Season opener, August 22nd. Dixon County. That has kind of been y'all's week one for, you know, going back to when you played. Probably.
Yep, it has, man. And you know, I was always told if we beat Dixon County, that's usually the sign of a good season, and that's what I've been told by a lot of alumni and old guys who play here as well, man. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it, man. You know, we worked hard all summer. We beat up on each other all summer. And it's just an opportunity to go out and actually play a real game against somebody else and, you know, perform and go and execute, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Dixon County going to have a physical group. They switched up from more of the wing to more of a spread offense this year. So it's going to be exciting seeing them come in and having the challenge of stopping that.
There you go. Tredarius Goff, third-year Columbia Central coach, joining us here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show, presented by Jones & Lang Sporting Goods and Columbia Academy. We'll have more after this.
Zion Christian Academy at zioneagles.org or 931-388-7531. You can schedule your appointment to visit their beautiful campus. Again, zioneagles.org or 931-7531 to schedule your visit today.
The Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show continues, brought to you by Columbia Academy and Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. We are here in Pulaski, just outside the Trent Holt locker room, talking to veteran Giles County football coach David O'Connor. 10th year this time.
This time, that's correct. Was here maybe, I can't remember the first time.
06 to 12.
06 to 12. That was 7 years. First of all, thank you for coming down here. You know, we would like to welcome you here in, I guess, the southernmost part of your region. And
not quite. We do Loretto as well.
Okay. Right down here on the state line.
Oh, absolutely.
Really appreciate you coming to Pulaski and checking us out.
Oh, not a problem. I'm glad to do it. You know, this ain't my first time.
That's right. Here. Oh, I know. You've been down several times, just not as often for previews.
No. But wanted to get with you, Coach. One thing, congratulations on getting Alcoa out of here, right?
I'm going to tell you what, speaking of running into a buzzsaw, I'm really glad that some other people get that same opportunity that we had for a few years. You know, I thought we had some really good teams there for 3 or 4 years. We'd run smack into them, and it would. I know how the Gatlinburg Pittmans and all those people of the East Tennessee, how they felt for several years.
6-6 last year, 3-1 in Region 4 3A. You know, a lot of people take 6-6. 6-6 around here is kind of a rebuilding year, right?
Yeah, we did not play as good as we would hope to play last year. But now that being said, you know, we played a lot of young kids. We at some point in the year last year we started 7 freshmen. So I mean, we've got a lot of young kids coming back that, you know, I think your biggest improvement in high school football is between your sophomore and junior year. So these guys are just going to be sophomores. So, but now that being said, I think we've got a really good, a nice, hard-working, tough-nosed senior class and a really good junior class. You know, so I think that I think things are on the rise again in Pulaski. It's just a matter of how we play and how those young guys and those freshmen fit in with us.
And when you can have that kind of season with that much youth, and then you can parlay it down the road, it's kind of a win-win situation, I guess, right?
That's correct. When you can get 7 guys like that or 8 guys that have been together for several years and all been in those same battles or wars together, you know, it makes going into those things a little more encouraging as a coach and a little more confident as a player.
What was it that brought about having to put so many young guys on the field last year?
We really had two back-to-back small senior classes. We lost a really good senior class the year before. That was really dynamic. You know, we had 2 great runners and some guys that could just make plays, had a lot of speed. That it went to the semifinals and got smoked by Alcoa 3 different times. Mm-hmm. But those guys could all play, and so we had to replace them. And when you replace them with, you know, who you're replacing them with, you're going to replace them with a guy if a junior and sophomore or freshman are even, you know, we got to make a choice there. And what we do is different than a lot of 3A teams. You know, a lot of people, they're going to come out and they're going to have a separate offense. The same 11 guys play offense, same 11 play defense. We try to split ours up where they don't go both ways so that it helps us later in the year. You know, we feel that if we can get some young guys that are comparable to the ones maybe not quite as good as the guys that would have to go both ways, you know, early in the year when it's so hot, by the 3rd and 4th quarter, we ought to be in a big advantage. So,
who are some of those key guys going to be for you this time around?
Well, now one of our big players is Pearson Collier. You know, he started on defense for us the last 3 years. He's going to step over and also play some running back. He is a tough-nosed kid. He's going to be a dynamic player for us, and he's a spark plug for us wherever he plays. We've got C.J. Mazik, who plays a defensive end, a drop outside linebacker at times. He's somebody that really gets after it defensively and plays with a high motor. Dallas Buckner, our fullback, is probably our leader on our offense. He's a senior. You know, we have 2 seniors on offense, Buckner at fullback and Dalton Malone at center. Both those guys are doing a really good job. So we're going to need all those, as well as the Cooper White, who plays corner and really handles all our kicking duties, but he's kind of been smitten a little bit by the injury bug here lately. So we're trying to hold him out and try to get him healthy for the first of the season. So we've got some good seniors, and we've got some really good young tough guys, and we're really proud and really happy that we got our quarterback back, Xavier Randolph, who had a really good year last year for a sophomore. Mm-hmm. Now we're expecting big things out of him now.
Coach, when there is a kid on the team that the coaching staff even refers to as the franchise, that says something.
And the great thing is, I'm not sure where that started, but that's all I've ever known him as. That's all I've ever known him as. You know, when I first saw him as a 9th grader, I mean, that's name. And the rest of the kids, no, he didn't say a word because he don't talk. It's hard to get that dude to talk. He just smiles big, and everybody's, Coach, that's franchise. So everybody knows who that is.
Xavier Randolph is who we're talking about, the rising junior quarterback for the Bobcats. And if you know anything about Giles County football, this guy likes to throw it, and that guy can.
Yeah, he's a special person. And not just as a football player. I mean, he is literally a special person.
That's what you like.
You're not kidding. Yeah. That's awesome.
Take me through this region. What are your thoughts?
It's a tough region. You know, I think Coach Johnson took over at Sequatchie County a few years ago when he left as the offensive coordinator from Fayetteville City right after they had been winning big. Mm-hmm. He goes over and takes the head coaching job, and he's really turned them around. They're loaded. He's got a lot of kids coming back from a team that went deep last year. It's going to be tough for us to play them. Luckily, we have them at home, so it'll give us a little better chance to hopefully be able to match up with them. I just don't know if we can because, they're big and they're physical and they're playing with a lot of confidence at this point. And then we've got some new teams in the region. We still have Watertown, who every year plays us fairly tough. Forest, Cascade has joined our region. Communities in our region. I mean, it's top to bottom. I think it's going to be a pretty good league. I hope we can stay healthy long enough because we opened the season early with some really tough opponents with Page and Henry County, and we got back to back. We got Innsworth, Page, and Henry County. So got to kind of hope to avoid the injury bug so we can get on into region play.
Innsworth in the scrimmage. Page comes to the Brickyard to open the season. 4-time Class 5A state runner-up, followed by going to?
No, Henry County.
Henry County's here as well?
That's right.
Well, you won part of the battle just by not having to go to Paris.
Amen.
Right?
Those long drives, that's right. We at least say for this year. For this year. Now, somebody next year ain't going to be so happy, probably.
Coach, you talk about the tough schedule. Innsworth in your final scrimmage, Page and Henry County to open. I mean, you put that together now, but at the same time, to get to where y'all want to be, you need those.
That's exactly right. If we're going to get to where we can compete with the big teams and the good teams of 3A football late, and playing in November and early December is when you really want to play. So if we get to where we can play with those guys, then we'll be that's what we schedule these tough games for early.
There you go. Getting to the Brickyard is always a treat, y'all. If you ain't been, you need to go. David O'Connor, 10th year Giles County coach this time. 17 in all. Always done a great job. Coach, we appreciate you taking some time with us.
Always, and appreciate you for coming down. Always a pleasure to be around you.
Thank you, sir. I'm Maurice Patton. We are at Williamson County Football Media Days here at the factory in Franklin, and caught up with, this sounds crazy, first year Independence coach Scott Blade. Now, first year with an asterisk because it's his first year in his second stint. Previously, it topped the Eagles from 2013 to 2021, won a state championship, went to the state finals. Got a little bit of a resume. That looked pretty good when you applied for this position the second time around, I guess, right?
Yeah, thanks, Bo. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're excited coming in as a first-year coach. Haven't heard that in a long time after 27 years for sure, or 27th year, but first-year coach. Yeah, we're excited about the new beginning.
Never a dull moment,
No.
man. Hey, what is it like the second time around?
That's a good question. It's very surreal, right? The bones of the place look the same. The kids look the same, but yet unfamiliar, right? A lot of new teachers, a lot of new teaching faces there. The routine is pretty much the same again, but new coaching staff, new kids. We've made some concerted changes. We changed the color of our helmet, right? So we're now that real deep navy blue. Yeah, I mean, we're really kind of just branding this like an Indy 2.0. Like we had an incredible 9-year run that we're really proud of in the school. We left our mark with that 15 championship and that 29 game win streak. That was an incredible time. Well, now it's, that's in the past. These are the kids of the future. And we're trying to make this as special a time for them as it was for those kids.
So it's a concerted, that's a conscious effort to do all of that then.
100%. We've been very intentional about everything we've done. When the minute I got hired, it was like we had a roadmap of where we have to be at certain landmarks. So all these different bogeys that come up. So let's talk about the off-season training, right? Then you look at the spring scrimmage. What did we need to see as far as improvement? And then we go through summer. So the summer workouts, the summer bonding, the summer, all the things that dodging the heat, right?
Good luck with that.
Yeah. We did 1 7-on-7. Riverdale puts on a great one. We went out there and we had a great day. And we lost to Marshall County in the championship game, but that was a first for these kids. So it was to even be playing in the championship game, right? So then we finished up the rest of summer, had our first scrimmage last night against Hillsborough, and we checked off the boxes I needed checked off there. So, and now we didn't scrimmage last week, and that was intentional too. I'm a big believer in getting older that I guess I don't see the camera. That's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
We're real here.
We're gonna roll with it.
Yeah. But I guess to wrap that up is we've been very intentional about everything we're doing, and that includes time off. That includes time away. That includes time to heal, time to watch film. When do we turn it on? When do we study? When do we attack? What's the next thing? And I think we're right there where we want to. We had a great turnout last night, a great turnout for a scrimmage, and it was a fun night. Got to play a ton of people, got to see some things we need to polish by next week. So yeah, we're right where we want to be right now.
Is that kind of a reflection, Scott, of where you are?
Yeah.
Just in terms of when we're going hard, and when we're not, we're
100%.
shutting it down.
100%. So things have changed in my life. We've in the last 3 years, all my kids are now married. They're all gone. So they have their own life. We have a grandbaby. So now that sensitive part comes out, and it's right there. And so I'm at a new phase.
The kinder, gentler Scott.
Yeah, but the reality is, you grind for so long that you sometimes probably want to, or not, probably want to.
Welcome to Williamson County, Scott. In case you've not been here.
Yeah, I would just say that the reflection is definitely having been there, done that. What would I do differently the next time around, right? Which is now, and then how do I, keep my priorities in line, right? And priorities for me are always, my family first, and I want my kids to be kids too. But when it's go time, we're gonna work. Yeah.
3-8 last year, 2-3 in region play. I don't know how familiar you are with that team, but obviously a lot of improvements to be made. What did you identify, or how have you approached that?
Yeah, well, it's so there's no way to go but up, right? I mean, we have my philosophy, my schemes, for better or worse, are different, right? And all I know is that was then, this is now, and whatever situations or whatever led to that, could have been injuries, could have been strength of schedule, could have been whatever. That's not really any of my business. My business is what I have now to work with, and the future moving ahead. And these kids, like I said in there, man, they got my heart, man. I go to bed and I'm thinking about them. I wake up, that's the first thing I think about. Is okay, how do I help this kid? How do I get this concept across? What am I doing to confuse them, right? So, and I think with that mindset, it's always, just how do we keep moving forward, right? And the past is the past, but how do we keep moving forward?
Joe Williams, local legend, was asking you if Eagle Air was back, and I was talking to Matthew Horner out here, the starting quarterback last year, asked him how things were going. It's like, man, we're throwing it all over the place. Talk about his development.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's done a great job of learning and being open to a total different approach on offense, where our protections match up with our footwork matches up with the types of throw we're trying to throw. He's gifted. He's 6'6". He's very athletic. He's got long levers, meaning he can stand back there and just flick his wrist, and he can make some throws. And we do attack all different quadrants, right? So, and it's getting his growth has been tremendous. He and Ethan Langerbine, our top two quarterbacks, their growth this last 6-7 months has been incredible. And we expect big things, and we also expect that they're going to keep growing, right? Because this is a process, and where they're at now, where they're at the next year, or end of the year, and where they're at this time next year, I think that's a whole different conversation.
Who are some other guys that you're looking forward to seeing get out there this year?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got a group of like Hunter Mullen is an incredible free safety for them last year, and you can see on film. Okay, he's got nose for the ball. He just kind of reminds me of Rashawn Golden had an incredible nose for the ball. I think that was his, and his was a violent nose. He has an incredible free safety, but some of that stuff you can't coach, right? It's an innate ability to kind of sniff it out. Well, we like him as our H, and you know this from years past. My H, my slot, who goes in motion, goes in the backfield. He's a very flexible player. We like him there because we can use him in a ton of different ways.
That's interesting because you have mentioned Hunter Mullen in relation to Rashawn Golden, and basically you're mentioning him in relation to Landon Guidry.
Landon Guidry for sure. And I mean, so like TJ, Sheffield would have been, he was an incredible wideout for me. So I don't remember that year we had TJ then Isaiah Collier, right? So those two on one side, and Isaiah would be the one going in motion, and we can do some other things with them. But that really hyper accentuates what's going on with the outside. So with Hunter Mullen at that slot receiver, we like Jordan Gray, who will play corner, but we also like him at our other slot, and Blaze Katina. So you'll see Blaze come in, and you'll probably go, "What the heck is this?" I've got a tight end. When Blaze is in,
what the heck is this?
Right. And I like him there. And then our wideouts, George Mayberry plays basketball as well, and it's his first year out. He's a big, tall receiver, and then Hendricks Brakefield. Not Hendricks Brakefield. Hendricks Harvey. Hendricks Brakefield, my punter, 08 Hillsboro. Great punter. But Hendricks Harvey is another wideout that on the other side that we expect big things. But the jury's out on them. They don't have film or have caught balls or in the past, but they've earned the right to get out there on Friday nights and now show what they got. We like our offensive line. Start Siler Green, Caden Liebler. We got Wade Matheny, Jonathan Brown, and if Weston Hicks, we get through the TSSAA, Weston Hicks, or it'll be one of 4 or 5 different guys there. We like that group. We have a group of running backs, Eli Darlington, Josh Nieves, Torrey King, Braxton Miller. I mean, we're talking about there's 4 guys that'll probably touch the ball. But again, with not having stuff that translates to what we do or film from last year, we're still kind of playing them all because they all bring something special. Defensively, Rhett Weiland at D, and I sing his praises, and Wyatt Young, the linebacker that was sneaking in there, they got motors. They got motors as good as any linebacker and defensive ends that I've had. So, I mean, I can go on and on. And I said in there's just a lot that we don't know. There's not a lot of them didn't play a whole lot last year, but they sure didn't play in the same type of roles.
Right.
So, I mean, this is going to take a while to figure out, but it's okay.
Something that you do know a little bit is Region 66A. Ravenwood, Brentwood. You've got some familiarity with the folks you're going to be playing with for playoff spots.
Yeah, and those county games are always fun. They're always big rivalries, and I know Ravenwood has really done a number the last few years, and they've got it going, and they've got some terrific players and a terrific coaching staff, a terrific culture over there for them. So that would be probably the biggest bogey to try and ascend our program to. Brentwood coach always does a great job over there, and that's always was historically a great game. Of course, Coleman at Summit, known Coleman is state champion coach. He knows what he's doing over there. He'll get those kids ready. Plus, it's a crosstown rivalry, so you add that rivalry mix. Now you can throw out a lot. That puts a little bit extra sauce on it, if you will. The newer teams, back in 15, 16, we used to play, Shelbyville, right? And they do a great job out there. But I would say this, they just made their schedule just got extremely harder with this region,
Sure.
right? Coffee County, a new coach. Don't know a whole lot about them. So, yeah, the region is always tough. We know that. And Franklin always is a great, we used to have some great games with them. And I know they're a new coach and they're on the rise and all that good stuff as well. So, yeah, the challenge is there, but it's all good. It's all good. Let's go play those games.
August 22nd, you open it up. Speaking of new coaches, going to Rockvale, coached by former Henry County coach James Counts. You guys probably know each other.
Yeah, he might have been an assistant. The times I played Henry County
would have been Daddy Counts.
No, it was actually Joe
Gaddis?
Gaddis. Yeah, it was Joe Gaddis. So I haven't played them in a minute. So and we know that was a tough brand of football. We always had good games there. But Joe was in charge there. I've met Coach Counts, and I know they brought him on. He'll do a great job there. But you heard my kids. They're starting to already take on my personality. I can't control the future. I can't control the past. We can control. It sounds silly, and I know it's coach talk and all that yada yada yada, but it's a chance for us to just get better each week. And if we can keep doing that, then the excitement comes, and then these kids learn how to win. Right, and then that's contagious. I said it also in there, and the 15 team had no idea how good they were going to be. There was nothing to show that they were going to be good. They were 6-5 the year before, but the offseason changes took place, and they just believed that they're going to do special things. And then things happen, and then when a player got hurt, we keep moving. The team was so strong, the team kept moving forward, right? So I think that these kids don't know how good they can be, right? And I feel like they're going to keep moving forward, and hopefully we can stir up enough magic to have some positive results and get this thing turned around.
First year coach Scott Blade of the Independence Eagles with an audience. You're attracting folks. Clearly, that's it. And I appreciate you taking some time with us here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show, presented by Jones & Lang Sporting Goods and Columbia Academy. We'll be back after this.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Hey, welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Columbia Academy and Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. Down here in Lawrenceburg with new Wildcats coach Garrick Barnett. Coach, thanks for taking some time with us this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. First year, first coaching change here at Lawrence County in a while. I mean, David Marston was kind of a generational coach here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What, 2023?
So, well, I think his total time that he was with Lawrence County as an assistant and head was somewhere around 34. And so, Coach Marston has been a staple here for us for a long time, and kudos to him. Kudos to Lawrence County for being able to see through the ups, downs, in betweens, all over. And it's kind of like Mike Tomlin in the NFL, and some of those guys. You don't see that.
Right.
You don't see that in college. You don't see that in high school. You don't see that hardly any. You don't see that in middle school. Yet, crap, you don't even see that in youth sports anymore.
Yeah, right.
So, it's just it's an honor to be able to follow a local legend for sure. So
now you played for him.
I did. Yes, sir.
Graduated.
Yes, sir. 2008 would have been my graduation year. Which have been last year we played was 2007.
Okay.
Dinosaurs were still roaming around. I think.
The kids probably think that, right?
Yes, absolutely. That was pre I guess TikTok, pre Twitter. I think we did have Facebook at that time, but it was just starting out.
Starting out.
Yeah. So if it lets all the moms are on Facebook now. So
that said, what's that been like for you? Taking over for a guy that you played for and a guy who is, a staple in this program.
Yeah, I think it's just like any new coach. You want to do. You got different ways. You want to try different things and do. And so we were fortunate enough to get to do that in the off season. I was able to take over before Christmas, and so we got in, and our guys got to work. We got to put our heads down. Super proud of our seniors. Listen, I couldn't be more proud of our group of seniors. We've got 14 of them. Our juniors have worked their tails off. I mean, we've got a host. We don't have a lot of guys, but our guys we have are just, we love them. We trust them. We believe in them. We believe in what they stand for, all the things that they do in the classroom, everywhere. You just want to put your print, but you want the kids to be themselves. And so, that's what we want to take. We want to take this and this and this and be able to put together something great. That's what you want in a team. And so that's what we're looking for. And that's what we're looking to see the next couple of weeks.
It felt like you guys were so close last year to getting over the hump, finishing 4-6 overall, 2-4 in Region 5 4A, and we'll talk more about that region in a second, but 2-4 in Region 5 4A, just missing the playoffs. What do you feel like you take out of 24 to build on in 25?
Yeah, I think a lot of our skill guys we were really young at skill positions last year, and we have those guys are a year older, a year bigger, a year stronger, a year faster. We've got some guys coming back. Logan Clayton, who started 6 or 7 games for us, played 7 games, but I think started the last 6, and so we started to see him kind of blossom as the season went on, get more comfortable. And we've got another young quarterback, Jasper Kilburn, who also looks really good. He's going to be a sophomore for us this year. And then in the backfield, we've got Carter Pettigrew's coming back. He's an up and coming junior. He's added a little weight. He looks a little more muscled up. Looks like he's more ready to take the ground and pound of every down type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nikias Everly is another junior who's had an awesome offseason. He looks really good for us. Gage Smith, Demetrius Silva. I mean, we were talking about it today. We've got tons of guys that we got to get the football to, and it's like it kind of depends on what the defense does, and that's what's great about our RPO offense. When you're running it and you're running a lot of plays and you're going, hopefully the defense doesn't know who's coming at them, and that's what we want.
It felt like you guys were a little bit more dynamic offensively last year than you had been in years past. Is that a fair assessment?
I think just, changing the style of offense. We were no huddle last year, a little bit slower. We still, we found our niche about halfway through. We were trying to ground and pound teams. And so we'll see what our niche looks like, how we match up with teams. And from week to week, we'd like to be able to change that. We don't want to be, just wing T or just spread or just empty or just, you got to be able to be multiple. And I think that's something we've been able to do this offseason is implicate a little bit more looks offensively, to give defenses a little bit more pressure, put a little more pressure on those guys.
When you do that, that puts more on the quarterback, right?
It does, absolutely. And that's what's really cool is Logan Clayton is more of a run threat, RPO, slinging around, kind of backyard type of quarterback. But Jasper Kilburn's more of a pocket threat. He's more of he can push the ball down the field. He's got a big arm, and so we've got different looks with different guys. And, I think that's what's going to make us tough is being able to throw a lot of different things at defenses.
And with Smith and Silva on the outside and with Everly in the slot, you've got some guys that you can push it downfield.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Listen, I would go as far as say we've had, I've been here since mid 2000s. Demetrius Silva is probably one of the best route runners, if not the best receiver, from an X or a Z spot that we've seen. And Gage Smith just keeps improving. He's a big target. He had a lot of catches for us last year. He's going to play both ways and special teams. I mean, he just does it all. And, doesn't do anything but just work, puts his head down and works. He's got a couple of smaller JUCO offers that he's working on. And so, I expect both those guys to be playing. Demetrius just got a couple of offers, D3 and NAIA. And so, I expect both those guys to be playing on Saturdays.
That's
in
awesome.
the future.
That's always great to hear.
Sure.
Again, Region 5 4A last year, you stuck with some of the same folks, but you're going the other way in the bracket this year. You all, Columbia Central, Franklin County will be in Region 4 5A.
Yes.
They were in 5 5A.
We'll be in
right, you'll be in 4 5A.
Yes.
So you're playing East.
Yes.
In the
yes,
playoffs.
Yes. We'll go Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or the other side of Chattanooga.
Thoughts about that?
Yeah. Listen, I'm excited. I think, unknowns should create a little bit of excitement. And that challenge of, well, we don't know what this has got to hold. We don't know what this ridge has got, this cross ridge has got. With going to Metro Nashville area, we kind of knew year in, year out what we're going to get. Page is, top to bottom, they're one of the best in the state. I mean, they've been one of the best in the state for years. Hillsboro is also, they've been improving. Coach is doing a great job up there. Centennial, those guys, they have stars up there too. I mean, and so we kind of knew what we were getting going that direction. So I'm curious to see. We don't see a lot of film from those guys over in that area. So it'll be a tall task for us for sure. But we look forward to it.
Okay. Open the season August 22nd at home against Summertown, and I would say your guys have probably had that one circled for almost a year.
Yes, sir. 16 days. Not that anybody's counting or anything, but yes, we have. And our guys, we know when that date's coming, but we want our guys to be able to focus on what they can control, when they can control it. And so, it's coach talk, I guess, but the next play is the most important play. And, that's something that, seems like last year we got down when something bad happened. We were at Tullahoma, we had a close play and they blocked a punt. And then all of a sudden it's just like somebody flipped the script. We were up 14-3, I think, at that time. And never could put the wheels back on the bus, so to speak. And so, this year, those are the kinds of things we want to try to, have them get beat in practice, have them get beat in off season to where, we're not worried about that just happened. So what? Nobody cares. Let's go make the next play.
Next play.
Yep, that's right.
That's great. I'm Maurice Patton. This is first year Loretto head coach Bryce Glass joining us. Coach, appreciate it. Early day today, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We get them at 1:30, so we get them in and out pretty quick.
That's pretty cool having that.
Oh, yeah. We get them last block of the day, so we're able to get a lift in pretty much every day and then still get them out here for practice and get them home in time. So works out good.
Now, this is your first year as head coach, but you've been on staff
8 years. This is 8 years.
And you are a graduate?
Yes, sir. 09 graduate of Loretto High School.
How special is that?
Awesome. It's amazing. Living my dream.
And coming back and walking those same halls that you walked as a kid and that kind of thing. Probably not putting on the same pads. They probably got some new ones since then. But,
yeah, I hope so.
but that's really cool. I've always kind of enjoyed that idea of guys and ladies being able to come back where they played and step into a leadership position.
Yeah, absolutely. To get back to a school and a community that gave so much to me, I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, it's amazing.
And you're in a pretty good situation in that you're new in your position, but you've still got a lot of familiarity with these guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been was offense coordinator for the last 4 years, and before that, I was defensive coordinator for 3 years. So, and Coach Cotton coming, bringing the kids up through the middle school. I mean, we've always had a good relationship, so it's been good.
You guys have had some success over the past little bit, not as much last year. 6-5 finish with a 5-2 record in Region 5 2A play. How do you get back, or do you get back to that undefeated 2023?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer. We're going to compete. We're going to work every day, and let the cards lay where they lay. But I mean, our kids are working hard. So we just got to see how it works out.
What do you feel like the transition's been like from Barry Daniel to you?
Busy. There's a lot less coaching and a lot more of admin stuff to do in this role than there was. So just busy trying to do it the right way.
Feel like you're resonating with the kids. So again, having been in their position almost literally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. It's worked out good.
What do you take out of 24 into this season?
I think last season we put ourselves in some bad situations, whether that's offense, defense, special teams, and, just cleaning up some stuff. And I think we can make a pretty good run.
What do you like about this team right now?
I mean, I love their energy. We got a group of seniors who are hungry. who've not necessarily had a lot of playing time in the past, but they're pumped that it's their turn to get a shot at it. So they're excited, and their energy's been good. I mean, we've not really had a bad day of practice. It's been good.
Yeah. Who are some guys that are going to stand out for you?
Colby Brown, he's going to be a big part, offense and defense and special teams. That's what we were talking the other day. We're trying to find spots to pull him off the field, but that's hard to do. He's making the transition from playing left tackle to playing running back for us and H-back. Andrew Riley's going to be another one in the backfield, playing both ways, offense and defense. Dylan Thompson returning. He's one of our few returning skill guys that started for us last year at receiver. So expecting some good things from them.
Let's go back to Colby for just a second, because left tackle to running back, that's not something that you hear of very often.
Now, Colby has started the last 3 years at left tackle for us. He started there since he was a freshman and done a tremendous job. This offseason, he slimmed up a little bit. Andrew Riley had hurt his knee. We weren't 100% sure how that recovery process was going to go, so we're going to be thin in the backfield. So talked to Colby. I'm like, Colby, you may have to run the ball for us some this year. And he said, Coach, I play left tackle. I said, well, you may play running back now. So, but he's transitioned, he's done a great job.
You may have to run the ball. If you're a left tackle, is there really a have to run the ball?
No. But he's embraced it. He's swapped his number over number 1, and he's tickled pink to be in the backfield.
I bet he is. And you said 6'1", 240?
6'1", 240.
You know, that's size at that position that you don't really see a whole lot of in Class 2A.
No, not a whole lot of. He's a specimen, too. He loves the weight room. He'll leave here today and go hit another lift, and he's a specimen in the weight room, big, strong kid.
You like to see those kind of guys with those kind of attitudes
absolutely.
In your uniform.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely wouldn't want him wearing a different colored uniform on Friday night.
You know, 5-2A, the makeup of this region has kind of changed a little bit with the new classification. 3 teams coming in from 6-2A that y'all got some familiarity with in the postseason. Not good familiarity, I guess.
No.
But what are your thoughts about Riverside, Scotts Hill, and Adamsville coming in?
They're solid teams. Scotts Hill, Riverside, traditionally good playoff teams. Adamsville, same. I mean, our region did not get any easier for sure with the change.
How do you see the region shaping up?
At this point, I think it's too early. I hate preseason polls. I mean, they're based off of people's opinions, not what's happened on Friday night. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to wait and see how it plays out before I answer that one.
Okay. For what you guys have done offensively for the last few years, so much of it has hinged on the quarterback situation. What is your quarterback situation this time around?
Ben Lyles will be our starting quarterback, sophomore. Played 1 quarter of 1 JV game last year, and then he hurt his elbow. But he's a football kid, plays 7-on-7 pretty much year round at different leagues and stuff. So he's got a cannon, and we're looking forward to him being at the helm.
The Mustangs open up August 22nd over there against Cornersville. Non-region game, but Cornersville typically pretty solid in Class 1A. You'll find out a lot.
Yeah, they're traditionally big, physical team, like to run the football. So it'll be a good test for us.
Great. This is Bryce Glass, August 22nd, over there against Cornersville. That'll be his coaching debut here with the Loretta Mustangs. We're out here at Mount Pleasant with 5th year coach Kid Hartsfield. Kid, thanks for taking a minute with me.
Yeah, man, 5th year, time flies.
Doesn't it? When you're having fun.
Yeah, like a blur, I can't believe it.
Last year, Kid, you guys finished 6-4, 4-3 in Region 5-2A. Possibly the best team to not make it into the playoffs. Got off to a 5-0 start, and then obviously didn't finish up the way you wanted to. Just kind of take me through last year and how this team has taken last year and gotten ready for this year.
Yeah, it was kind of an odd season. I think, win total wise, we were going to be somewhere between 5 and 7, depending on, there's a lot of 50-50 games because it's a tough region. We were also, 3 points away from being first in the region, from that East Hickman game. But we had a three-way tie for second, and that, bumped us to fifth. And, there was other teams that were, 2 points away. Summertown was 2 points away. If they beat us, they're probably the region champion. So a lot of scenarios, and it played out pretty wild, but I was proud of our kids' fight. And, you just want to use that, moving into the next year to find those few points. Where were they missing? Was it the off season? Was it how we practiced, or was it effort, or whatever those things are? We want to check every box to make sure do everything we can to that not happen again.
As you get ready for your season opener, what do you like about this team?
I think just their togetherness. They all really just want to win. We got a lot of good players, but we don't really have any problems about, wanting the ball or people saying, give me the ball and this and that and all those things. They just want to play together. They want to have fun and they want to win. And, I think that's very unique in today's time to be able to have a group of guys that just want to work together to get the job done.
Who are some guys that you're going to be particularly counting on this year?
Yeah, offensively, we got, a lot of options. We want to be balanced, but we got, Cale Scott at quarterback, and he's got a lot to work with. With JP as an athlete who's been doing a lot for us the past few years, Jade McClure, returning at that tight end spot, and Carter Dunn in the slot. Him and JP both play defense. We had Peyton Niehaus, who has really shown out, at the X spot for us, which is always a big position. And at running back, JP's doing some running back. Cade McCrory is just a big-time physical back as well. So, we feel like, we don't know who's going to do what each and every Friday, but kind of with the defense that, allows us to do, and that's what we're going to take on offense.
It sounds like you've been in the transfer portal.
I mean, we've gotten a few transfers, I would say. 3. That's about the same as what I feel like probably a lot of people have. Other than the big schools up in the big cities, racking in 10 or 15 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But, every situation's unique and different, and just kind of worked out for them and what was best for them.
JP Easterling, a sophomore this time, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Nope. JP's a rising junior.
Oh, God.
Yep.
I'm getting old.
Yep.
So dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Played a lot of quarterback for you last year. Isn't going to have to play as much at quarterback this time around, as we were talking off air just a little bit ago. Frees him up to be JP.
Yeah, I mean, that's what JP wants to do. He is a defensive player at heart, and if you take him out on defense, he's going to be pretty upset about it. Offense, he knows we have to have him out there making plays, so he'll do whatever we ask him to do, whether it's wildcat snap at quarterback, which we'll obviously do. Whether it's taking snaps at running back or receiver. He's big in the return game as well. And that's just kind of how he likes to be free and play the game and just go make plays. And, that's what he does for us. So we're fortunate to have him.
Jade McClure, you mentioned kind of in passing there, but this is a guy who can play on Saturdays, obviously at a lot of levels. How do you get the most out of him?
Yeah, I think, he ought to be, well motivated. Coming into his senior year, it's really challenging, to find those big D1 scholarships and be able to prove yourself. And, he's done that early and he still has, a lot to prove. But I think he's got a couple more notches that, he can really turn it up, on both sides of the ball. He's a great kid and, a good team guy. And we want to do whatever we ask him to do. But, I've seen him, when he hits that button all the time, and it's fun to watch and scary to see.
Cale Scott coming in from Lawrence County, having played at the 4A level at the quarterback position, how do you feel like he has the opportunity to impact y'all?
Yeah, I think he really just fits what we want to do. He's stepped in here in the spring and really just kind of kept his head down and kept working with Coach Holcomb in the offense. And, Coach Holcomb likes to get the ball in space to a lot of different people. he's capable of doing that, and he puts a lot on the quarterback and, reading the defense and getting the ball where it's supposed to go. So he's been, drinking water through a fire hose. But he's handled it well. He's handled it really well, the ups and downs, and really just fit in well with our guys, and they've accepted him and all the others as well. So
it's a new year from a classification standpoint. Y'all's region kind of switched up a little bit. You got to go across the river a few times. How do you feel? How do you see this region shaping up?
Yeah, it's it's a tough region. It gets tougher every time they change it. Obviously Riverside and Adamsville coming over to join us is two powerhouses right there coming over from that region of death, as we called it, the past few years. They've been in the state title a few times. Adamsville's won state championships before. So I haven't seen them in a while, but we got a good region already, and they're just going to add to the competition of it. And the travel is this year we don't have to go to any of them, and then next year we have to go across the river 3 times, 3 weeks in a row. So it's pretty interesting, but it's wide open. I don't think anybody knows much about anybody, and we just know I know there's good coaches everywhere, and they're going to have their teams ready.
Tigers open their season August 22nd against
Battle Creek.
Here?
It is at Battle Creek.
At Battle Creek.
Their first home game.
Okay. Non-conference, non-region, but little rivalry at stake, I guess, huh?
Yeah, Coach Byram's going to have the boys ready. I mean, he's doing a great job. Great hire by them. And he's had them, ready to go and preparing for varsity football for 2 years now. So I know he's going to field a very tough team that plays extremely hard, and it's not that far of a trip. So maybe it will be the start of a rivalry of some kind. But he's a good friend of mine and got a great staff, and I look forward to that opener.
That's great. Kid Hartsfield, 5th-year coach here at Mount Pleasant, joining us here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show. We'll be back after this.
Zion Christian Academy at zioneagles.org or 931-388-7531. You can schedule your appointment to visit their beautiful campus. Again, zioneagles.org or 931-7531 to schedule your visit today.
Welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Columbia Academy and Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. Here with veteran Richland coach Nick Patterson, 8th-year Raiders coach.
Yes, sir.
Nick Patterson.
Yes, sir. It's been a minute. Didn't know what I was getting into when I got there, but it's been a great community, a great place to be. So, we're just blessed to be there.
I think they're kind of blessed to have you as well, especially coming off this past season, 9-4, first state quarterfinals berth in a minute.
Yes, sir. Since 87, 89, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
5-1 in region play. I mean, really riding a wave right now are the Raiders.
Well, we're trying to. When I got there, we talked about building a program, not sometimes in small ball you get in a cyclical situation where you're good every 5 or 10 years. That ain't something that we wanted to be. So we've really talked about, year in, year out, we're trying to better ourselves and build a program so that we can compete, and we're a perennial playoff team, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
How do you feel like y'all have gone about actually fulfilling that?
Well, there's a lot of work in the off season in the weight room. A lot of work recruiting the halls and keeping our numbers where they need to be from class to class. Just the kids really buying in to what we're doing and being able to see some results like last year. That certainly helps out and gets kids out and keeps them out. And understanding what we're trying to do.
It really does. I mean, when you're having the success, you don't have to recruit the halls as much, I don't guess, do you?
No, sir. No. They start wanting to come out and play, and that's a great thing. And, our numbers have stayed pretty consistent throughout the off season and the last couple of years, and obviously just building on the momentum of last year.
Again, 9-4 last year, made it to the state quarterfinals. What do you take out of 2024's performance into 2025 and try to build on it?
Well, we had a great group of seniors last year and great leadership that we relied on. Obviously they graduated, but that culture that they instilled and helped us instill in these younger guys is showing now in this year's group. So I think that's, super important. And again, as we lost that good group of seniors, I've got 16 seniors back this year, and a lot of them played a lot of football for us last year. We've got 2 really dynamic receivers, really more than that, but 2 from last year back and catching footballs for us. Most of our lines back, our whole defensive front's back, so a lot of pieces to work with.
As we talked last year about Richland Raider football, we were talking about Blaine Woodard and the numbers that he was putting up in the passing game, because those were numbers in that facet offensively that folks weren't used to seeing out of Richland. Sounds like you've got another one that's going to kind of pick up where Blaine left off.
Well, we do, and Blaine is actually still helping us on the sideline. So that's really good and really cool to kind of see that, guy mentor that younger guy, next generation guy. But Gavin Schrader's a freshman, but he don't look like a freshman. He certainly doesn't play like a freshman. We're blessed to have him, and he's came in and done a really, really good job of asserting himself as that QB1 guy. Our guys believe in him wholeheartedly and back him up, and he goes out and earns it every day too. So that's a big part of it. But there's still a lot of learning to do, and he's going to make some freshman mistakes here and there along the way. But just tremendous growth is what we've already seen through the 7-on-7s and all that stuff, and getting caught up with the speed of the game, and we're excited about the potential.
You don't see a whole lot of freshman quarterbacks at the high school level. Just the speed of the game and everything else that goes with it. But like you said, this guy doesn't sound like a typical freshman.
He's not in his his preparation. He keeps a notebook with him, and he's charting plays and looking at stuff that stuff that big time players do, and he's already kind of embracing that as a young guy. It also helps that we got so many veterans around him, that we can surround him with, so that helps and allows him to be a little more comfortable.
And you talked about the two receivers in particular that you've got, really kind of make his transition a little bit easier, I guess.
It does. I mean, Jake Sands had 1,000 yards receiving for us, over 1,500 total last year. Aylin was on pace to have 1,000 before he got hurt last year. So having him back's big. We've had a few other speed pieces along the way, Hudson Griggs and Landon Harbison on the other side. So we've got some guys that we feel like can make plays, and we can get them the football. and so that goes along with our run game and our screen game, and we feel good about the total package.
Talk about that run game, because you got to do something to keep people honest, I would think.
But again, we got most of our line back. We graduated just the senior last year. All the other 4 were back. So that helps out again. We've got a few guys that we're kind of doing it running back by committee right now, and we'll continue to do so as we see, as we need to. A lot of those guys are playing defensively, so it helps that they rotate. But Colin Cagle, Tucker Mayo, AJ Bates, Trip Helton, and then another freshman, Jax Hunter's getting some reps. He got some reps there at the end, a little speedster guy. So, we got some guys there that can make plays for us and really keep us balanced.
Region 5 1A, probably a little underrated just in terms of Class 1A football, it feels like. It feels very competitive, a lot of really good programs in there. How do you see this thing shaking out?
Well, I say it all the time. I think top to bottom, we're the toughest region in 1A football. There's some powerhouses out there, but they don't necessarily play in very tough regions. In our region, you got to bring it every single Friday night. There's traditional folks like Moore County, Cornersville has been really good the last several years. Fayetteville's made a state run. So there's a lot of good teams, quality teams and opponents. Huntland is a perennial playoff team. Eagleville. So really everybody. There's not one that you can look and say, we'll be out of here by halftime. It's a dogfight every Friday night.
And the playoff. If there was a tie last year for down in the
Everybody
district, right?
behind
Yeah.
Everybody behind.
Everybody behind us. Back there.
Yeah, that
Didn't
was
involve
a
us.
three-way, four-way tie for
third, maybe?
For second, third,
Second,
fourth, all
yeah.
those shook out. Yep.
Yeah.
And that just, like I say, it goes to the level of competition that we have in this region for sure.
Season opener, August 22nd. You go on the road over at Waynesboro.
Yes, sir.
And they're traditionally pretty tough as well. So
They
you're
are.
testing yourself right out the box.
Yes, sir. They are. They do a good job over there. They're big and physical always. They've been in our region until this year, and they moved them out and moved them over to the west. But we wanted to keep playing them. We like that natural rivalry that we got, and playing that good competition. So, we're excited about it. It's a great chance to prove ourselves and hopefully come away with a W.
Yeah. This is first year Spring Hill head coach Josh Taylor with us. Coach, thanks for taking a second.
Absolutely.
Been a long day, huh?
It has been. It has been. School started back. So, they get long.
Hey, first year head coach.
Yes, sir.
But what, your fifth year here?
This is your 5.
Year 5. Last 4 seasons as defensive?
So, technically, the last 3 seasons as DC, the first one I was the DB coach.
Okay.
Sir.
All right. So, even though you weren't calling the shots, you were calling a lot of shots.
A fair amount, absolutely, especially on defense, for sure.
Okay. Last year, obviously, continued struggles.
Right.
2-8 overall, 1-5 in region play. What did you see from last year that you felt like or you feel like you all can build on here in 25?
I think really we were, a tough out for sure. I think that's the thing. 2-8. The year before we were also 2-8. But I think if you, especially if you come to the games, I think you could see that we fought a little bit harder, probably a little bit better, especially as the year went on. We played a lot better. We had a lot of guys, a lot of young guys out there. We played a lot of sophomores last year. Some freshmen got some playing time last year. And so this year, of course.
There's no sign-out this evening. Have a good night. Parents, thank you for attending our open house. We hope you have a great 25-26 school year. We'll see everyone tomorrow.
Cannot get away from that those announcements, but they're working, right? But yeah, so being 2-8 last year, I really think that you can see the boys, their fight. They got better. They learned how to be more studious. They learned why weightlifting, all of that kind of stuff is important. So they kind of attacked this offseason differently after saying, "Oh, this is what it takes to play varsity football." So I think we learned a whole lot last year. So going into this season, I think there was a lot of firsts last year. We won't have those in the beginning of this season.
And it wasn't necessarily by design. It wasn't necessarily by plan. But if you're going to struggle, at least struggle young and get something out of it.
Absolutely. I think that hopefully these next couple of years we have a big senior class. We have like 18 seniors. We got 20 something juniors right now. And so hopefully this year and next year, that can be something that a lot of those guys have been playing. And that's something we can lean on. And again, that's that experience and that toughness that they've grown. It helps us out going forward for sure.
As you look at this team heading toward the season, who are some folks that have kind of stuck out to you, some guys that you can kind of hang your hat on?
Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of guys who could say. I think the very first guy, I think anybody that's been around here the last couple of years, guys that have been in spring ball, have seen any of that. I think the first guy that's going to jump out is Lionel Brooks. I think he's played QB and running back for us this year. He started as a sophomore, one of those sophomores I talked about at running back last year, learned a whole lot. He's taken a hold of the weight room. He's stronger, faster. He's more confident this year. He's been hard to tackle. Our defense has really struggled to tackle him. He's done a great job at both spots, QB and running back. So we'll kind of see what the best thing is for him. And the list could go on, even on offense. I think Landon Hill, another sophomore, our starting left tackle. He'll be a junior this year. He started sophomore last year. He'll be a junior this year. He's done a great job.
Thank you so much for coming to our open house tonight. It is we need to start wrapping up so that everyone can go home and be back here fresh and ready for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Again, thank you for coming, and we
think that's the last one. I think that's the last one.
The big guy.
Was it right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Dr. Brewer. So, but yeah, so Landon Hill, I could talk about him. I could talk on and on about him. The aggression he plays with. He's a strong guy. I think that Luca Furiolo is a receiver that we can look out for, along with Will Bailey. Defensive end, defensive side of the ball. Our D line, Seneca Caldwell, Dustin Hoppin, both seniors are going to play really, really well for us. Dustin was a guy, we missed him a whole lot last year. So we had no seniors up front on offense or defense last year. And so we had 2 juniors on our defensive line, Seneca and then Dustin Hoppin. But Dustin, unfortunately, was in a car wreck last summer. He missed the first half of the year. He kind of played his way back into shape for the back half of the season. Logan Gregory, who started on both sides of the ball as a sophomore for us last year, he's basically 180 something pound nose guard for us last year. And so he took a lot of lumps. He's going to get better. He's gotten better already on both sides of the ball. So I look forward to seeing what he can do. And then Reeves Gill, safety, he's got a few college offers here lately. He's hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. He's kind of battling a bit of a foot injury right now, but he should be good to go. He's awesome. We got my son, Jackson Taylor, he plays basically like a nickel corner safety spot for us. He does a really good job. Nathan Highland, there's the list on defense. I think we had so many returning starters. I think the list is pretty long of who can make plays for us and step up and that leadership spot. I think we have some really, really good guys in that leadership role for our team this year. And so I'm excited for a lot of our guys. I probably named half of them, but that's, that's kind of how it goes.
As you look across this region, it's a new region for y'all this time around, 5-4A. Who kind of sticks out to you immediately?
It'd be crazy not to say Marshall County, right? They do. Coach Osteen does a great job with them. I get to see him from afar, and he does a really, really good job. And so they're a perennial playoff team. They went 10-0 last year, and they're always rocking. They got good players. A lot of good players come out of Lewisburg and Marshall County for sure. And so had to throw it in there. But they're the first team in the region. I think everybody notices just because of their record in the past. But obviously Battle Creek, Coach Brown's done a really good job at Battle Creek so far, getting them ready to go play varsity football. And I don't know as much about Montgomery, Central, and Creekwood. I'm learning, but like I said, I know both of those teams play very, very hard. Traditional. They have a long tradition of playing hard. So I look forward to getting on the field with everybody in the region and just seeing some new opponents and seeing a new scheme and whatnot. Just the football coaching me gets excited about that kind of stuff.
Marshall County graduate Josh Taylor. So as I was working through that question, I kind of knew where we were going to be going, but it's a lot of their pedigree has a lot to do with it, though.
Absolutely.
In all seriousness.
Absolutely.
What's it been like for you making the slide from suggestions to decisions here in such a short period of time?
It's kind of been weird. Honestly, just kind of definitely weird. I have to remember at practice specifically the off the field stuff. I think is coming along day by day for sure coming along. At practice, I have to remember to take the defensive coordinator hat off sometimes, put the head coaching hat on. And so I just kind of want to hang out. Even when we're on Scout D, I want to hang out with the Scout defense and look at some of the younger guys and get these guys lined up. But I'm thinking, hey, I need to make sure I know what's going on with the offense. And so I'm getting better at that. The scrimmages and things that are coming along, that'll help us out, help me out as far as making sure I know, hey, both sides, special teams, all of that stuff, just kind of getting introduced to that, making that more of a normalcy for me. But it's all of it's been growing, and I'm just trying to make notes, and make sure I'm ready to go for that first game.
That first game, August 22nd. Not your alma mater, but you spent some time at this school as well. Summit comes to christen the new turf over here.
Absolutely, yeah. I was there in 2016 as a cornerback coach, man. I have a good relationship with Coach Coleman. He was my running back coach in high school. He's a fantastic person. He has been a mentor for me since I was in high school. He's given me a lot of advice over the years, but not just him. Coach Kurt Taylor, Coach Melton, over there. A lot of good guys over there. They have a really good staff, and so I know it's going to be a fight. It is every year, and our boys look forward to it. I'm sure Summit does as well. And so the thing is, they really test you, and that's why I love having them week one, because it's gonna that focus. With them being right up the road, that focus is there, but also the coaching schemes and all of that stuff that they bring to the table makes us a better football team. So I really look forward to playing Summit every year.
Coleman's your mentor. Who's got the better beard?
Me, for sure. For sure. For sure. His is good, though. His is good.
His is
yeah,
good.
It's not mine. For sure.
I'm out of that. We're in Summertown, Tennessee, hanging out with the man, the myth, the legend, third-year Eagles coach Dan Winfrey. And I say that somewhat humorous, but I'm telling you, and I just told him again, 8-3 last year, coming off a 1-9 finish in 2023, 5-2 in Region 5 2A, second place finish, first home playoff game.
It's happened before. It's happened one other time, yeah.
Okay, but second place in the region, and again 8-3. Had to be, if not the best, one of the best coaching jobs in Tennessee in 2024. Dan, thanks for taking some time with us. I know you're not trying to live off of that, but what does last season in your second year with this program do for 25?
I don't know if it does anything, to be honest with you, because 24 is over. Everybody's forgot about it. It's time to move on. It was a good year. Our kids did a really good job, our seniors particularly. But it's a new year. It's a new team, new leadership. It's not exactly like starting all over, because there's a lot of continuity with our coaching staff, with our schemes, but a lot of new kids and a lot of new spots in terms of leadership and playing time and that kind of thing. So different team, different world now.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but what I would think it does do is show these kids here that Summertown High School football can be successful.
Oh, no doubt. I hope they got that from it, because we can be. We think we've got good players, and I think our schemes fit our kids, and like I said, they experienced the success last year. So they should be feeling good going into a new year.
I like what you said about our schemes fit our kids, because you've been around coaching long enough that you've seen coaches want to fit kids to schemes instead of schemes to kids.
Yeah, sometimes that's true. A lot of times your team does change. I mean, 2 years ago, we came in at the last minute and we didn't know our kids very well.
Literally a month before.
The Friday before practice started on Monday is when I met them. So we were kind of winging it, but our offense was completely different. And looking back, if I knew, now what I didn't know, we'd have been a little different. But anyway, every year changes. I've always said I'm kind of one of those guys that's tried to treat every year of coaching, and I'm over 40 years now, but every year is another year, and you rebuild it and you redo it, based on that year, that talent, that group. And it's not like we're doing the same thing 40 times. 40 different years, I didn't do the same thing. Every year, we tried to fit our coaching to match that team.
And it feels like that would be the best way to go about it. I mean, I'm not a coach, I don't know, but it just feels like, if you've got somebody that can throw it 40 times a game,
absolutely.
throw it. If you don't, then whatever, But that said, what is this team going to look like this time around?
Well, I think there's a lot of similarities. We got a lot of kids that are back that, for example, Max Diller was our backup quarterback last year, and I felt like he was good to go at any point last year. But Jaden Stowe had a heck of a year. He played really good. But they're both similar. There's a lot of similarities. Both runners can throw it. And then our skilled people, a lot of similarities. So it's going to be very similar. As we get into it, it will evolve like every year does. We've changed offenses in the middle of the year. We tweaked the defense in the middle of the year. So this team will evolve also. But it'll start off being very similar.
You talked offense, but it felt like your defense kind of set the tone for you guys in a lot of instances last year.
No question, and I gotta say this. Look, our guys did a great job coaching defense, and our guys did a great job of playing defense. And we had some shutouts in there that were huge. I've never lost a shutout, by the way, just to add a note. But I thought it was very complimentary football. The key, I think, to winning ball games is play good defense, be sound in the kicking game, don't turn the ball over on offense. And I can look back through the years, and some of the better teams we coached were very much like that. And so that's a good recipe for any team at any level, really.
That is a pretty good recipe, and if you don't give up a point, you're not going to lose.
I hadn't lost one yet.
You might tie, but you're not going to lose.
That's right.
Who are some of the key guys for you as this season approaches?
Well, I mentioned Max, and then I think the key is our offensive line, and we've got some guys back. Blaine Moore, he's been a field. So we Hunter Fishwild. I'll start naming and forget some guys, but those guys have played some, and they'll be counted on the list. So they're key for us. We got two running backs that didn't play as much, but we've slid them into roles, and I think they're going to be fine. Keenan Klinghart is moving from offensive line to running back, and Eli Schaefer will run the ball some. And then we've got several slots that we're using: Michaela Powell, Colton Pugh, Brad Hoffman, Kobe Hodge. We've got some guys there we think can help us. So those will be our guys offensively. Defensively, it's a lot of the same guys turn around and play different position on defense. But, that's a big key for us too, is creating some depth. I feel like we got, whatever the number is, 13, 14, 15 guys that, are going to be good players for us, but we got to create some more depth, find some more.
Welcome to Class 2A football.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly right. Well, and that was the way it went 8 years ago. But one of the things that's changed now, we had 3 coaches and about 35 players in 1A back in the 80s. And today, staffs are getting more and more coaches, and they're being able to coach kids, and they're developing. So, some teams you'll see a few more guys playing. So we've got to get our number up.
New classification year, new region. It's still 5-2A in name,
yeah.
But you guys have got some new folks that you're going to be dealing with. How do you see this region shaping up?
No, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The new team, Scotts Hill and Adamsville and Riverside, don't know a lot about them. Seen some of them on tape, and it'll be interesting. They're coming from a really good league. They've played good football in that league and been good. And then the 4 of us who are staying together, Loretta, Mount Pleasant, Lewis County. So it'll be an interesting year. About half of us are, I guess those 3 have been together and us 4 have been together. So, a little combination. So first year working through that schedule, it'll be a challenge, and it'll be unique to kind of feel your way through that schedule.
2025 season opens August 22nd as Summertown travels down 43 to Lawrence County. They've got a new guy this time around, but I would imagine he and they feel like maybe they got a score to settle after one of those shutouts from last year.
I'm sure they do. David retired, been there a long time, and somebody told me the other day it's my 3rd year, and I'm the most tenured coach in this county now with 2 new coaches. So little change down the road, but Barnett was on staff, and I think there'll be some new, and there'll be some continuation of some stuff, I'm sure. But good group of kids coming back. It'll be a real challenge for us.
Tough to get ready for that one with a new coach there, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, it is a lot of times, especially in the opener. But I also think sometimes, it's his first game. It may be tough on him too. So we'll see how that plays out. But there's some unknowns there that we got to prepare for as much as we can.
Dan Winfrey, 3rd-year coach here at Summertown, the Dean of Lawrence County football coaches, joining us here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Columbia Academy and Jones & Lang. We'll have more after this.
Jones and Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Hey, welcome back into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Columbia Academy and Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. Stopped by Williamson County Football Media Day up here at the factory in Franklin, caught up with Summit 12th year coach Brian Coleman.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the old man now. I'm getting to be the old man in the county now.
You are the old man. Hey, and you talked a little bit about it in your presentation up there earlier, just the time that you spent at Forest and assistant at Marshall County, ascending to this role and having been in it. As you go up the ladder, coaching-wise, do you ever anticipate 12 years?
No, it flies by. I mean, I can vividly remember being at Marshall County High School. I can vividly remember being the head coach at Forest, at Riverdale. I mean, it's just, and it flies by. I mean, so many kids you coached. That's the fun part about it. You run into more and more kids that you coached and hopefully change their lives for the better.
Coming off of a tough season by anybody's standards, but particularly by Summit standards, 3-7 overall, 1-4 in Region 6A. I'm sorry, 6A. Excuse me, and a lot of injuries.
A lot.
In fact, some folks didn't want to mention it in there, but I mean, it has an impact.
It definitely has an impact. I mean, yeah, it has a huge impact. I mean, you play younger guys with less experience. I mean, it's hard enough to win with the 22 that you start the season with, much less the losing 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. And, I mean, we couldn't even have a JV schedule because our JV guys were having to be pulled up to play at the high school level. So, hope that experience helps us this year. And like I said in there, we've done a lot of things in the off season to try to remedy that. I think it was just good old bad luck sometimes, but as far as the knees go, deceleration, because the turf is a little bit different now. I mean, it's different on their legs and on their knees. So just trying to do things in the weight room and conditioning wise to combat it. Probably won't do away with all the injuries, but we're just doing everything we can as a coaching staff to help it out.
Makes sense. And the fact that you're able to kind of learn from that, what can we do better? What can we do differently to maybe get away from some of that? It's really kind of vital, I guess.
Yeah, and thank goodness, I mean, no one really got injured in practice, so we didn't really change that. Just doing the same thing we had in the years past. It's mostly just in the game. So, I don't know. It was just a unique year. Hopefully it don't happen again, knock on wood.
Obviously, as you look back at 24, I guess that's the biggest factor, the biggest thing that gets your attention from that season is just all the people that you didn't have.
Right. Yeah. And it stinks for the kids too, man. I mean, some of them are seniors. They waited 4 years to play, and something bad happens. But feel bad for the kids. But and a lot of them came back, so it was good for them to fight and work hard in therapy and things like that, and want to come back to the football team and try to make it better.
That's it. What do you feel like you took out of last year that you can apply in 2025?
Just to be resilient. You know what I mean? Like I alluded to the COVID year. You didn't know who was going to play that week. So it helps as a coaching staff to be resilient and you look yourself in the mirror and do a lot of things differently sometimes, but have to, I guess, back down to basics sometimes because the game plans couldn't be that big. Sometimes you had to be just basic game plans.
And that has an impact in the competitive level.
No, 100%. Yeah, especially the competition we have. We don't, every week is one heck of a football team, one heck of a coaching staff that we're playing. So the competitive part of it really, hinders that, I guess you could say.
Who are some folks that you're going to be leaning on this time around?
Definitely Carter Kaczynski and Michael Crutcher. They're their 2 safeties, 2 seniors. they're worked their tails off in the off season. Carter had some bad luck with injuries last year, so he's fought in the weight room. He's really put on, I bet he's put on 20, 25 pounds in the weight room. So hopefully he can stay healthy this year. And Michael is played since he was a sophomore. So and he got a lot of bumps and bruises last year. But they're, as the safeties of our defense, they're going to be like the quarterbacks of our defense. So we're really looking forward to them. Jake Campbell is here with me. He's a left guard. Hopefully he's going to be the leader of the offensive line. We really need a good offensive line this year. We'll have 3 seniors in the middle and two juniors on the tackle spots. But they've got a lot of experience. Hopefully they can bring that experience to this season.
You know, you had a really dynamic quarterback last year. He graduated. What is your quarterback situation looking like this time around?
We've got a junior and a sophomore kind of fighting for the spot. Marshall Cooper and Davis is the sophomore, and Marshall is the junior. Kind of, you know, I don't know. They're neck and neck right now. I guess one of the things that one may overtake the other is leadership capability and how they're leading the team. So we'll see how that shakes out. Got one heck of a coach in Kerry Collins. You know, he's probably 15 years of NFL experience. Does a great job with them and teaches them the little things. So they're definitely getting coached up well.
There we go. As you look across this region, you got a couple of changes, a couple of new teams coming in, and somebody going out. But, you know, the top kind of looks the same, it feels like.
Oh, it does. You know, the Ravenwood, the Brentwood, I mean, they're always going to be well coached. They're always going to, I mean, Ravenwood has 42 seniors, I think. So, you know, they're going to be a tough football team to compete with. And our crosstown rivalry, Indy. I mean, Indy's good. Franklin's good. I mean, they're across the board. Everybody's good. And we've added Coffee County and Shelbyville now. Coffee County's competed well in the Rutherford County region last year. I think they upset a Blackman in week 10. So, I mean, they're a very capable football team. And Shelbyville was a semifinal team. I think they got beat by Page in the semis or maybe the quarters, but they returned their quarterback and running back. So, you know, it didn't get any easier, that's for sure.
Open at Spring Hill, August 22nd. The Battle of the Hill.
Yep.
It's a non-region matchup, but I'm sure that a lot of those kids see each other. Y'all see each other. Big rivalry.
Always a fun game. You know, the stands will be packed. Coach Taylor, we talked about Coach Josh Taylor. I think he's going to do a really, really good job there. I think the dynamics of that team are going to change. Not that the previous coach didn't do a good job, but I think Josh really identifies with the players. I think the players will play hard for him. The defense always played hard for him, so he's going to carry it on to being the head coach. I think he's kind of behind the 8 ball because I think it was later in the year that he became the head coach. We did a 7-on-7 with him in June, and I think he'd been the head coach for a week. So, you know, those growing pains, but I feel confident he'll do a great job.
Great. A lot of folks are confident you're going to do a great job. We're here on the campus of Zion Christian Academy hanging out with Coach Harry Simlar. No. Spoon Simlar. In fact, a couple of your admins told me that if I referred to you as Harry first, folks would know who I was talking about.
I would just look the other way if you called me that name.
Spoon Simlar joining us here. Coach, I appreciate you taking some time with us as we get ready to get things started up here. Coming back, a lot of transition here, I guess. New coach, new format as you guys come back to 11-man after 4 years of playing 8-man football. Coming back to the TSSAA after playing in the TSIAA for a little bit. A lot to take on.
It's a lot to take on. We knew when me and my staff decided to take the job that it was going to be a big challenge for us getting this thing started again. But we're looking forward to it. It's not going to be easy early on, but we have a lot of guys here that are here working hard, and we really think the future's going to be bright with the foundation that we have right now.
Yeah. How many guys do you have back from last year from that 8-man foundation, and how do you get them from that style of football to 11-man?
It's a transition for them because they've most of their whole career up here has been 8-man, but with us, the freshmen that are coming in and some of the sophomores that played for me in middle school, they played 11-man football. So the transition is really going to be learning the language again, our practice habits, and the style of play that we're bringing back right now. But it is going to be a different transition for the older guys that were here last year playing 8-man.
So how many guys do you have back from last year?
From last year, they have 3 returning guys from last year. That's it.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be young.
We're going to be young. We're going to probably start about 5 or 6 freshmen on both sides of the ball most of the year. But what we're looking at is they're very athletic. They've been with us for 2, 3, and 4 years. The time we put some weight on them and teach them to play high school football, we expect they're going to be very, very good players in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and you haven't been with a lot of these guys at the middle school level. How much easier has that made it just for you to coach them?
Because they know what our expectations are when it comes to locker room, the small things even like locker room, bus, how they should present themselves in school, and the practice habits. They know that we go hard at practice, but we have fun and enjoy ourselves because it's still a game. But they're actually young leaders, so they're actually helping the older guys transition to us as coaches now.
Again, coming back to the TSSAA, coming back to 11-man football. Now, you're not playing a region schedule this year. Is that correct?
That's correct. We won't play our region schedule until 2027, this year and next year. We will play some teams in our region upcoming, but for a region, we'll be in 2027.
Okay. All right. How much easier, how much harder did that make scheduling?
It does make it a bit harder because we're trying to schedule a certain way right now that's going to benefit us. But trying to find the right week with teams that are in regions and their off week, that was kind of hard at first. So we had to drop games, add games, but we do have a 10-game schedule now. So, but we got to do some traveling for a couple of them, and we do have a team come from Georgia to play us. So but it was a little hard trying to find the 10 games.
Yeah, what do you think you carry over from last year into this year?
From last year's team, or?
Yeah.
Our last year team was like what we call a finished product. When we first came here, we didn't know the status of middle school football, but our team last year ended up being a very, very good team. But that was 3 years of guys coming in, hearing the same message, working hard, and doing the same thing. So we're trying to take that and parlay into the high school level with that right there. So.
Who are some guys that are going to kind of stick out for you in a positive manner here as y'all go through this season?
Now, one of the returning starters, his name is Samuel Davis. He's probably going to play quarterback, maybe some linebacker, defensive end. Expect big things out of him this year.
What year is he?
He's a senior.
Okay.
Running back Jonas Chapik, he was really, really good at the middle school level, so he's another one of my guys. He should be very outstanding this year. Jake Sullivan, he's going to play one of the outside linebacker roles, and he's probably going to play some fullback and some X receiver. He should have a very, very solid year too. But those are foundation guys we're looking for.
Okay. All right. You talked about the schedule, and it's kind of far flung. I know you finished the season up at Providence Academy, up the other side of Knoxville. Like you mentioned, you've got Creekside Academy out of Georgia coming up here. Wasn't easy putting the schedule together.
Not at all. I mean, we didn't want to just throw ourselves out there with a super tough schedule. We're trying to find teams that are like us in size, school size. So to give us a good foundation of what we're trying to build here, we don't want to just kill ourselves early on, but we need to play some tough teams as a gauge to see where we are, though.
You're playing one of those tough teams right out of the box. August 22nd opener over at Hohenwald, taking on Lewis County, a perennial tough program. What was the mindset behind scheduling that game week 1?
So our kids need to realize that good teams are built in different ways. And how we're trying to build this team, it might not be a numbers thing, but toughness, gritty. Yeah, we need to go against some tough teams to see where we are early. And that way we can make adjustments. They can see where we are and then kind of move forward and stuff. But yeah, we do have a tough game coming up. The first 2 games, actually our first 2 games. But yeah, they need to be tested early just to see where we are as a program.
You talked about numbers. How many?
We're at 19 right now. We have 19 kids, but we have 19 hardworking, athletic kids right now.
Now, is that 9 through 12? Do you have any 8th graders? How is it?
It's 9 through 12. Now, we might pull up a few 8th graders when their season is over with because they're pretty talented too, and some of them could actually help us toward the back end of the season.
All right. Sounds good. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Preview Show presented by Columbia Academy. and Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. I'm Maurice Patton. We'll see you on the gridiron.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.